Hello, I'm going to now take you through the 1605 induction. Please watch carefully and please take notes and please save this recording for future reference as it contains vital information about the evidence that you need and about how to upload and label your evidence. So I am now going to share my screen with you and we are going to have a look at the OneFile e-portfolio system that you have got. Okay, so first of all, this is the home page. My page looks slightly different to yours because you've got the learner view and I've got the assessor view, but it's essentially the same and it looks quite scary when you look at it, but there's very little on this page that you need to focus on. First of all, the left-hand column, all I need you to focus on is tasks and messages. The first thing I'd like to talk about is tasks. They can also be located here in the top right corner. So tasks get confused. Tasks are not things I'm going to ask you to do. Tasks are administration tasks. So when you have uploaded the evidence that you need and we're ready to assess a folder, I will create an assessment plan for you. Please do not create any assessment plans yourself. Once the plan is created and I send it to you, it will come to you as a task. There, you will then click on that task, you will read the plan and sign it. So tasks means administration tasks. If there's anything I ever need you to sign, it will come up as a task. I do not ask you to go do this, go do that. It's quite misleading and it doesn't mean that. So a task is just an administration tool for me to get you to sign an assessment plan. Messages, again, you've got historic messages here and current messages here. All the emails I send you from this point on will be sent in OneFile. So please keep an eye on your messages and you can also link messages in your profile there if you want to. To access your profile, just click there, click on profile, and you can have a little play with that and you can link your email in there without any problems. Email preferences, and there we are, email alerts link. So you can set it to daily, weekly, or monthly, and it's really quite a good tool, okay? So let's go back then and have a look at what I need you to look at. So first of all then, we will go back to the main page and tasks and messages there. Reports, just ignore. That's a tool for me. Resources, ignore. My resources are better. You won't need them. And the help center is something for me, not for you. So ignore all them and have a look at them. In your messages, if you're looking at this video, there will be an email with quite a lot of attachments. I've built up a lot of resources over the years and I've put a lot of information there. Please take a long time, please take a week or so to go through each attachment, and there's a lot of help in there for you guys. I've really put this on a plate for you. So you've got assessment questions, testing, fault finding, there's all of it on there. It's all gold and it's all designed to help you, so please use it, okay? Everything else on the page, just ignore really, apart from this one little thing here, the blue portfolio tab. Now, as you can see, I'm using the desktop version. Guys, I advise you use the desktop version as well because the app just isn't very good. So always use the desktop version. It's much more straightforward and much more easier for you, okay? So all you're ever going to need is in this box here. You click it and out pops the box. There are three things in this box that you're going to need. The first one is your progress. The second one is your gap analysis. And the third one is assessment evidence. So I'm going to start off with progress. Now, this is one thing I really need you to pay attention to, okay? So if you ever ask me this question in the future, I will just refer you back to this video. As you can see, when you start the MVQ, your progress is on 0. It will remain on 0 until you've carried out an assessment with me. It won't rise while you're adding evidence. It will only rise when you and I have done an assessment on evidence you've added. So I've reviewed the evidence, we've made the assessment plan, you've signed the task, we've carried out the assessment on video like this, and we do assessments by professional discussion or observation, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute. And then once we've done the assessment, I'm happy that you've passed it and you're happy that you passed it, we both sign it, and then and only then will the progress rise. So don't ask me why my progress hasn't risen. It's because you haven't carried out an assessment yet, okay? So the second thing we're going to look at is gap analysis. This is important, but I've also got a really good guide for you as well, which you will be emailed also. And this guide relates to the gap analysis. So I'm going to try to show you both at the same time. So we go into portfolio, click on gap analysis. show all, and apply. Now, gap analysis is all the criteria that EAL needs you to achieve, okay? Now, any units that say understand or understanding, you need to ignore. They're your college units, and I'm going to sign them off for you as soon as I receive the certificates from your college. So ignore understanding, 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 and understanding. Your MVQ starts from applying. So the way the MVQ is built, it's health and safety, it's environmental, very important unit, which everyone forgets, and you will not get through an assessment, your professional discussion without doing this one. Organize and oversee, planning, preparing, and first fixing, second fixing, inspection and testing, and fault finding. They are the units that we're going to concentrate on, and then to finish off with your AM2, okay? So let's have a quick look at the units then. So I'm not going to go through all this, guys. I'm going to let you explore this and have a little look. But the way it's built is into you is criteria and range, okay? And as you can see, there are two red N's. Each N signifies an occasion we need to cover the criteria. So, for example, this box is all about risk assessments and method statements, and we're going to cover it on a professional discussion on photographs, which I'm going to show you where they're going to go in a minute. And the second one on this unit is going to be by an observation. That means a recorded video observation like this of you in work and us doing this, this criteria. So you're going to do a health and safety observation. So professional discussion on your photos and observation, okay? And then you just work your way down. I'm not really going to go through it all, guys, because I've got a photo guide that I'm going to show you in a minute, which relates to all these to really help you, okay? So things to be mindful of then here is access equipment, and make sure you've got a couple of access equipments available, okay? Environmental unit, we only have to cover this on one occasion. It will be by professional discussion. I am going to send you a help sheet in your email for this, but remember, you have to research and discuss with me all of these acts. So I need at least 10 to 12 bullet points on these acts containing all the facts about them, and also on all these environmental systems. We also need to have information on reducing material waste and use of environmentally friendly products, and what to do in the event of reporting environmental hazards. So you need to have information on the Environment Agency there, okay? So it's quite an important unit, which you do need to cover, and we do that first on the professional discussions, and if you fail that one, we don't move on. So you'll have to redo that and rebook, okay? 003, organize and oversee. Again, this is covered by professional discussion on one occasion, and this time professional discussion on another occasion, and you'll see why in a minute, okay? We split the installs into two professional discussions. Then you have your install units. And again, this is going to be split into two professional discussions. So it'll be install one and install two. It doesn't have to be two of the same installs. And I'm just going to go through the essential criteria. There's a separate video on this, but I'll quickly show you what I mean. So just remember, it's two professional discussions covering the following. You have to cover the following criteria: PVC conduit, metal conduit, PVC trunking, metal trunking, and tray. So the first professional discussion, or the first professional discussion folder with your photos, will contain metal conduit, metal trunking, and tray. And then in PD2, or professional discussion 2, you will put your PVC conduit and you will put your PVC trunking. You then have to have 5 accessories. So you can just choose from this list. Again, they're all on the photo guide, but 3 accessories will go in the first discussion and 2 accessories will go in the second discussion to cover 5 overall. And the next thing I've got to tell you is the cables. So you've got Twin and Earth, SWA, singles, and FP200. You have to cover all of them. And again, we'll put 2 in the first discussion folder and 2 in the second. So for example, you could have singles with PVC conduit. You could have Twin and Earth with PVC trunking, and that'll be in PD2. And you'll have SWA on some tray maybe, and FP200 in some steel conduit in PD1. Okay, so we're going to have 2 cables, 5 containments, 4 cables, 5 accessories overall, split into the 2 discussions. You'll see how I've built the folders for you in a minute, okay? And again, these are just second fixing the criteria that we looked at earlier, okay? Unit 006, this is going to be covered once by professional discussion using photographs. So again, use the photo guide to make sure you cover all the elements of this unit and every single test. Okay, you have to do one test of one circuit covering all the tests. And we're going to cover it once by professional discussion and once by observation. So when we do the observation so far, we've got health and safety, then we're going to do testing in the same observation. And then finally, to finish off, we're going to cover fault finding. Fault finding on this course is a nightmare, guys. So you've got to bear with me, but you've got to do it, okay? Again, in your fault finding folder, it's the same folder as your testing folder. So just put the both pictures in there, but it's going to be covered once via professional discussion using the photos and the folders, and once via observation where I actually watch you. So now in the observation, we've got health and safety, fault finding, and testing, okay? And an easy way to build it would be to set a scenario for your observation whereby you've got a fault to fix. So you're there, you do your risk assessment, you do your health and safety on the actual site, you then do your fault find, and then you retest the circuit and job done, nice and easy, okay? The faults you have to find, again, this is in the essential criteria video, is loss of supply, overload, short circuit, an earth fault, transient voltage, loss of line, incorrect phase rotation, high resistance joints, and component and accessory faults. Now, I would save your component and accessory fault for your observation because it could be something as simple as a broken switch or socket that you simply safely isolate, replace, retest, energize, do your live tests, and job done, right? Faults like overload, transient voltage, and phase rotation, we can discuss, and you don't necessarily need photographs of them, but everything else, loss of supply, short circuit, loss of line, high resistance joints, you will need photographic evidence of. But bear in mind, when you're finding and fixing a fault, you need to relate a tester to it. So underneath, you've got the range of testers that we've got to use. So for example, for the loss of supply, you might use your voltage indicator, blown fuse, for example. For your short circuit and earth fault, you might use your insulation resistance tester. For your loss of line, it could be an open circuit on a ring. It could be an open, but make sure it's a line conductor, not a CPC or a neutral, because we've got to lose the line. And I know it's a nightmare, but it is what it is. So loss of line, we're going to use our low resistance ohm meter, our continuity tester to find that. So just relate your testers to your faults. Something like a clamp meter, we will discuss when we're talking about overload, okay? So once by professional discussion and once via observation. So in summary then on these units, we've got health and safety, we've got environmental, we've got functional technical information, that's a professional discussion, installs, professional discussion, and then we've got inspection and testing, professional discussion, observation, and fault finding, professional discussion, observation. Okay, I am now going to show you the folders. Okay, but just before I show you the folders, I'm just going to show you the photo guide that I'm sending you and just quickly explain it to you. So this is the photo guide for you. And the first thing we're going to do is talk about numbering the pictures. So when you put a picture on, OneFile works in a number algorithm, and this has worked out to be the best way to number pictures, okay? So for your installs, all tray picks will be called O1, all steel conduit picks will be O2, all steel trunking O3, and so on and so forth, okay? Just follow this guide and you can't go wrong. So for example, when you're putting your tray picks in, it'll be O1, tray delivered. So when you're labeling it, which I'll show you how to do in a moment, O1 tray delivered, O1 tray cut in, O1 tray measuring, O1 tray marking, O1 tray installing, O1 tray finished job. That means they will all be grouped together. So when we assess them, we will be assessing all the tray ones together. And then you start on your steel conduit, all labeled O2, steel trunking, all labeled O3, and just follow this down and label them like that, and that'll be easier for you during assessments, okay? So that should be simple and straightforward. I am now going to show you where the units are located. So again, we come back to the home page. So we'll just go back to the home page there. We'll click on Portfolio. We will click on Assessment Evidence this time. And if you click on all folders, you will see all your folders here, okay? So what have we got then? We've got the health and safety, and we want 30 photos of health and safety. And again, guys, I'm just going to just flip back to the guide for you, because this is what I've done to help you get these pictures. So as we look at the guide, you can see here, I've listed the criteria that was on gap analysis in black writing, and in red writing, I've got an example of the pictures I'd like you to see. So, for example, the first one, pictures of you reading and signing risk assessments with colleagues. That speaks for itself. Identify unsafe situations, a picture of you with a hazard and then removing it, and so on and so forth. And all you've got to do is work your way down the picture list. Give me 2 to 3 pictures per criteria, and I've done this for every single unit for you, so you shouldn't really struggle with what pictures to take, because they're all on that photo guide for you. Okay, excellent. Right, so let's go back to the folders then. So what have we got? We've got health and safety folder, so that's relating to unit 001, and you're going to put 30 photos in there. Environmental, just put some pictures in there of each of the environmental systems, like solar, wind, biomass. Just put a few diagrams from Google in there or something. Organize and oversee, folder 1, 30 photos if you can. This is things like drawings, designs, manufacturer's instructions, site meetings, on-site guides, guidance note 3s, regs books, invoices, delivery notes, anything like that. Technical information and organizing the jobs. That's for PD1 and that's for PD2 there. Okay, so if you can try and get 30 pictures in each one. I know it's a difficult unit to cover, but just do your best. Again, follow the photo guide. You cannot use the same photos in each folder. They have to be different, unfortunately. Then we've got PD1 001, 04 and 05, sorry. This is where your metal tray, your metal trunking, and your metal conduit are going to go, along with your 2 cables and your 2 or 3 accessories. And then PD2 is where your PVC conduit and PVC trunking are going to go with your other 2 cables and your other accessories. And then all your testing and fault finding pictures can go in there. It's a full test and every fault, apart from the fault that you're going to do on your observation, okay? So how do we then upload a picture to a folder, and how do we label it? So I'm going to do this for you live now, and I'm going to actually get a photograph, upload it and label it for you. It'll just be a random photograph, but let's say, for example, this is going to be your first picture, which will be a risk assessment. So you need to select the folder that you need to be uploading the picture into. If you don't select the folder, it'll go into all folders. If it's in all folders, I cannot access it from my end, so you need to put it in a folder. There is an easy way of doing that later on, okay? You can put multiple pictures in if you wish. So if you've got, say, all your pictures on a photo file and you want to put them in there, you can select multiple pictures, and I'm going to show you a nice little trick now of how to get them in and save them relatively quickly. Just excuse me 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to find some decent pictures for you to put in. I'll put some technical and functional information pictures on. So let's say, for example, now we're going to put, I don't know, I'm going to use 6 pictures, but you could, let's say it's however many it is. So you can drag and drop these pictures here, okay? Drop files there, boom, okay? Now then, these pictures will now automatically upload. Now, at this point, when they're all yellow, OneFile would make you save them all individually. And if you've got 30 or 40 pictures going in, that could take a while. But I found a hack. Simply log out. So just log out of your account at that point. And then what you're going to do then is log back in. And then we log back in. You're going to go back into the folder. And then when you go to that folder, you'll find the photos are there and they're all in perfectly, right? So how to label the photos? I'm just going to imagine this is unit 001 and we're talking about risk assessments and method statements, okay? So we're looking at the photo guide, and we're looking at, so we're going to say the first one's a picture of you signing a risk assessment. So you click the little pencil. You're going to label it 001 and you're going to put sign in risk assessment, and then you are going to click save, okay? And then you're going to go to photo number 2, and this is going to be called 001 as well. So as you see from the numbering system, when you get used to it, all the numbers in this 001 folder are just going to be called 001. So 001 risk assessment completed document. So you're just telling me what's in the picture, okay? And save. And then picture 3 could be a method statement. So again, it's going to be 001 Statement. Okay, and then the next one might be, then it's the next one on the list, which is about hazard. So 001 hazard, and then it could be clearing the hazard up next, right? 001 cleaning hazard away. You know, picking up some cable that's been left on the floor or something. Okay, and then the next one would in the list is checking tools. So 001 checking tools. Okay, and then click save. And then if we just bob out of there and then we go back into it. So when I log into it to check your pictures, simply there it is. We've got checking tools, cleaning hazards away, hazards, method statement, risk assessment, and signing risk assessment. And it's all in there for you in that folder. So that's going to be about 30 pictures. Don't worry about the order of them. It doesn't really matter because I can easily find them in there. It's when we get to the installation folders it becomes a bit of a problem. But just label them 001 and what they are and tell me what they are. And it's as simple as that, okay? And you just do that for all your folders and all your photos go in there. Now, I want you to remember, guys, that I do not get notifications when you are uploading your evidence at all. So to that end, if you need me to check your folders, you need to message me. The best is text or WhatsApp because I'm always online or teaching. So you need, when you put evidence in, you need to send me a message to say, Craig, I've put evidence in folder. Don't just say I've put evidence in, can you check it? Right, because there's a lot of folders there to check. So I've put evidence in folder 001. Can you please check it for me? And then I can check it for you, tell you it's okay, crack on. And that's absolutely fine, but you have to notify me, okay? And that's it, guys. That's all you've got to do. So the way this tends to work best is if you do all your photographs first, get them all in, and we'll assess all the photograph folders in one session. It's a big session, but it's time efficient for you and for me. And then we'll book a separate session to do a health and safety testing and fault finding observation. So really speaking, if you apply yourselves, you get all your pictures in, it'll be one assessment session for your photographs, covering pretty much half of the MVQ, and then another session for your testing and fault finding and your health and safety, covering the other half, and job done. The assessments take between 1.5 and 2 hours. And the testing and fault finding shouldn't take that long. It should only take about half an hour, 40 minutes. And that's it. And that's all there is to it. In your emails is installs examples, questions and answered, frequently asked questions. All the resources I can possibly give you are in there. So please look at them first. And then when you've looked at them, write your questions down, book a session in with me, and we can then clear up anything that you do not understand. Okay, so that's 1605. That's your progress talked about. That's your front page talked about. That's your gap analysis talked about. And that is your folders, how to upload and label pictures. Okay, so thank you very much for your attention and welcome aboard, and I look forward to working with you. And please ask as many questions as you like. And again, the best way to contact me is by text or